And we are off for the Ricard sprint here at Circuit de Ricard. As Noah slots in behind Tonin, his teammate, who actually goes a bit deep as we cut to Cupson's on board, who's tangling with Ben. Ben had to, tuck away from Tonin. Noah can profit of that, maybe even 2 positions. Cup though defending from the RK racing car of Leo. Ben goes very deep and he loses a position to Noah and maybe Cupson, as Cup shoves Ben off the road there. Ben's probably not going to be happy about that, as Cub is now up into P3 with that move. Here into the last corner. He gets tagged from behind by Ben. Ben now has a better traction. Swan Cub just turns into him on the straight. Unbelievable stuff between these two rivals, it seems. As the 2 Midnight Racing cars are gaining a lead up in front. Ben is still defending Cub, as race direction is ordering Ben to give back the position to not get a penalty. Will Ben do that is the question though. Ben goes a bit deep again. Loses time again though, because he has to rejoin in a 90-degree angle almost, as he gives back the position to Cupson. Meanwhile up front here, Noah and Tonin fighting for P1 in the sprint race. 1 more lap to go for the sprint here. Is Noah gonna send it? No, he isn't. Brakes early, tries to come back on Tonin. Tonin though has a better exit with the lockup. We can sweep it back around into the tricky uphill elevation chicane, one of the only parts with elevation on the track. Noah gets a better run. Is he going to profit of it though? No, he lifts again to not run into the back of his teammate. And I think this is going to be it. They're going to be cruising to a nice 1-2 for MNR here, with Cup and Ben behind, and then Leo and Pierre as well there for a nice 1-2. So yeah, the 1-2, then Cup, then Ben, then Leo and Pierre. Salami joined later on, and Sant didn't start, but he will start the race. Or will start later, but he'll race. And we are off for the power car race here in Season 6. Noah gets a relatively okay start to compare to his teammates, who gets boxed in behind Cub, so he can swing it around, but Tonin breaks too late. Pushes Cub a tad bit, what it looked like at least, or Salami might have something to do with it, because he broke a bit later as well. Here Tonin drifted through the tricky chicane as Cub and Noah are banging here. Earlier in the sprint it was the Midnight Boss banging with him, and now it seems to be the driver, as Cub goes off and we switch to his POV and he cuts the track and he gains in a position there. There was a bit of contact, but I don't think that was necessary by the Polishman. Still though, he cuts the entire track there, and now he is way closer to the front of the field as Pierre goes a bit wide. Then he just rejoins into the racing line and gets shoved off by Ben. That might be a penalty though, not sure about it. The race director will deal with it, as Cub is now fully up to the front here with Tonin and Ben and Pierre right behind him. As Tonin is leading the race here in his Midnight Racing, Ben close behind. He is actually kind of looking if he can find a gap there. Kando Cup gets a bit wide on the exit, but is shaking there as Pierre tries to fidget it too, as he went a bit deep there. To be fair, he was still on the outside, so he could have just decided to lunge. No further investigation on the incident between Pierre and Ben though, as there is massive lag spike due to Sant joining, and that will probably be a safety car. And that's one of the biggest pileups we have seen in recent memory. On board with Noah here for the restart. And we are off. Noah does not get the reaction time, and Sant even had a better reaction time with his delay. As now Noah is looking to fight up until the front, as Salami goes way deep there. Cub switches it just in front of him as 3 wide, Pierre gets pushed off. The Cup has something to do with massive track limits by Salami, as Noah gets hit by Pierre, or he didn't leave enough space. I am not sure what happened. No footage of that will be found from Pierre's on board there, as we switch to Cubson, who is already on the main straight here after his incident with cutting the track earlier on. As it's Ben and Tonin, quite clear from Leo, as I'd say. Ben still remarkably close, though he is losing time by the millisecond to Tonin up ahead. Leo might actually close up on Ben before the end of the race here, not sure though, as Cub is remaining in P4 just ahead of the teammate of Leo, Salami, in the other RK racing car. Cub cuts it in very tight. Salami though has a run on him. He must have had a better exit here. Is he gonna try anything down into turn 1? Not needed, because Cup locks up and he loses P4, the motor to P5, with Salami up onto P4 right now. As Cub is... That might have been a bit of track limits, but Cub is trying to close back up to Salami, though it might already be too late for the Polishman, as we are actually heading into the final section of the lap now. Final lap here with Tonin from Ben from Leo here, and Cub coming in, bringing it home in P5 on the road. And that's Paul Ricard over here. So after penalties it will still be the same top 3, but both Cub and Salami got a podium, promoting P6 Sand up into P4. Salami actually had 2 penalties, so he will lose another position to Cub as well there. Finishing P6 for him, Cub P5. Then Noah, who had this incident with Pierre. Pierre disqualified to this off camera. He actually drove the track backwards. But he's disqualified, and that's it for the Paul Ricard race. Le Mans will hopefully be uploaded this Sunday. Mark my words on that it's not gonna happen. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope to see you tune in again pretty soon.